You can't have the Republican conference chair reciting Democrat talking points, especially when gas prices are up 50%. There's a crisis on the border, and Democrats are trying to federalize election law and pack the United States Supreme Court. That is not helpful. That is the concern. And that's why 3 months ago, there were a number of us who wanted to make a change. That change, in fact, will happen tomorrow, Laura. And I think that's a good thing for our party. You want our party spokesperson to be in tune with more than a single-digit percentage of the party. 90-some% of the party disagree with Congresswoman Cheney. There needs to be a change. And again, I think that's going to happen tomorrow, and I think it'll be a strong vote.
Now, how is anything she's saying different from any garden variety left-wing pundit on MSNBC? I mean, they're literally citing her every morning on MSNBC and talk about her plight and how courageous she is. Like, if Republicans are getting praised by that crowd, isn't that kind of an obvious, well, that's not the person you want leading the party?
No, and this is not new. This happened on January 13th when the Democrats went with their impeachment. I was the guy charged with managing our time on the Republican side, and all we heard was Steny Hoyer and other Democrats reciting statements that Congresswoman Cheney had made. But it goes back even further. How about the Russian bounty story last summer, which we all knew was bogus? But what did Liz do? She tweeted out against the president that very day. Why not just pick up the phone, call the White House and ask them, is there any truth to this story? They would have been glad to tell her, happy to tell her that there was nothing to it. And we now know there was nothing to it. So this has been a pattern. And I think, frankly, now there's just enough of our conference who've said, we got to make a change, and it's going to happen tomorrow morning.
Again, we tried to warn them, and they didn't listen. One of your colleagues is pushing back against the possibility of Congresswoman Stefanik taking on Cheney's role. Congressman Chip Roy writing that let us contemplate the message Republican leadership is about to send by rushing to coronate a spokesperson whose voting record embodies much of what led to the 2018 blank kicking we received by the Democrats, indicating that she's more of a moderate and not an America First conservative. Is his concern legitimate, Congressman?
Well, look, Elise Stefanik's a good communicator. You saw her in action during the first impeachment and how she handled that, I thought, very well. She's been endorsed by President Trump. She's supported by the minority leader. She's supported by Whip Scalise. She's got an A+ with the NRA. And she was endorsed by the Susan B. Anthony list. I think that's pretty good. But the main focus here is, can you communicate the consistent Republican message that our party believes in? That's the qualifications for this job. I think tomorrow we're going to make a change. Liz Cheney won't be there. I think sometime later in this week, Ms. Stefanik will win that position. I think that's how it's going to play out. And I think overall that is a very good thing for our party.